Okay, welcome back everyone for the second half. It is on my watch 11:20. This session is due to start at 11:20. Ooh, that's the power of technology for you, you know. So I hope you enjoyed walking around the exhibition stands. There's some really interesting exhibitors, and the thing which we're trying to say to everybody is this is on your doorstep. All of this stuff is on your doorstep, and the question is how you engage with them to take forward products and services for your own business. We've asked the museum to turn the heating up slightly. We know that it was getting a wee bit cold. If any people at the back are feeling cold, come and join us at the front. It's Mediterranean down here, okay? Yeah, okay. We want you to keep tweeting. There's been good traffic on it, but keep tweeting. And one of the things we'd say about it, the tweeting is, don't just sometimes put up a passive tweet. Is there such a term? Passive tweeting? Yeah, okay, anyway. Ask questions. Pose a question out there. Get more conversational in your tweeting. Ask us questions. Give us answers. Because actually, when I was growing up in Ireland, I remember my grandfather, he gave me one great piece of advice. He said, keep asking questions, but always question answers. Stuck with me, that one there. Stuck with me. My grandfather's very interesting man. He wouldn't understand technology at all, mind you, but still. So we're going to keep moving on. There's a lot of information we're throwing at you, and we want to keep doing this. We want to keep it moving ahead. So our next session is with Gillian Jones of QikServe, known as the waiter in your pocket. Gillian, over to you.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you everyone for inviting QikServe and myself to present today. I want to just cover one point before. Can everyone show me a sign of hands for who uses Snapchat? Again. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly tell you the best worst story about Snapchat. So as some of you will know, and I'm not judging anyone, Snapchat started as a sexting application. And the first person I know that spoke to me about Snapchat was my mother, who moved to France and said, hey, I've got this cool app. I can show some pictures to you. And I was like, what the hell is she doing? But she showed me pictures of her house renovation. And I thought, wow, if this woman can embrace Snapchat and can use this for something completely alternative to how it was designed, I'm really interested to see how this will go. So that's my best worst story about Snapchat. What I'm going to talk to you today about is QikServe, which, as we know, is the waiter in your pocket. But really, it's about how technology can enable and enhance really cool guest experiences, and also give you some practical applications about the sort of user journeys that we provide to our guests. As I say, my name's Gillian Jones. I am from Edinburgh. I was born and raised in this city, and nothing makes me happier to see lots of different faces, lots of different accents, and actually people coming to fundamentally where I've lived for 30 years. So it's a really cool, wonderful city. Thanks to Skyscanner today, I think we're going to see a massive, massive boom again in the tech startup business, something that I'm very familiar with, and I think it's a really exciting time. So what I wanted to do was talk to you actually about one of my experiences. So not that long ago, I went to Stockholm. Now, I had some preconceptions. I was like, Scandinavians, Swedish people, typically hot. So I was like, God, better have my makeup on that day. I heard it was really expensive. So I was like, oh, thank God I'm here with business. And just generally was like, I'm interested to go and find out a little bit more. Now, one of the first things that struck me, and again, you've heard about some different companies today, was I walked out of the airport and I saw a fleet of Teslas. And they were the local taxis. Now, I'm not saying that Edinburgh should go out and buy a fleet of Teslas. They're not cheap. But my first impression of that was, okay, so Stockholm, it's innovative. They're looking at new, cool electric cars. It's futuristic. I'm interested to see what else is here. It's premium. I was like, ooh, a Tesla, like, it's cool. And you get into a Tesla, and it looks like a spaceship. Like, the dashboard is crazy. No offense to our black cabs, but, like, that is not the same. So I think what I'm trying to say here is the experience for guests when they come to tourist destinations such as Edinburgh starts from before they even set foot in the city. You come out of Edinburgh Airport, what do you see? Like, what's their first impression? Because that's where you're going to capture people, and that's where the journey starts for them. So I think it's really important that we set the tone, and people love this city as much as I do from day one. I think in this day and age, one of the key things that we focus on at QikServe, and I particularly like to think of, is if I was the guest coming to a restaurant, coming to a hotel, and generally coming to a city, what do I want? So what's interesting to me? And I think as operators and people working in this space, it's very difficult to find the time to put yourself in their shoes, but that's where you're going to win and lose massive fans. I think that we know everyone has a phone in their pocket. We know that things such as Wi-Fi in Edinburgh is going to be available soon. Yes, thank goodness. But we also need to accommodate the fact that, you know, during the festival, we have hundreds and hundreds of people here with lots of different languages. How do we make life easy for them? How do they consume what you guys are offering? So what I want to do is just think about how the guest's own device can provide so much information and so much power. And for example, we've got some tourists here. So where do they want to go and how do they want to get there? There's a language barrier. I don't know about anyone else. Like, I don't speak Mandarin. So if somebody comes up and speaks to me, like, how difficult is that for them? You know, unfamiliar cuisine. Again, I'm not judging anyone. I don't particularly want to eat in a restaurant where they have pictures of the food and I have to kind of point. So how can we make that process easier? And ultimately, how can you guys drive more revenue for the attractions, for the restaurants, for the hotels that you guys work in? So we have an example here of a quite handsome Italian man, Francesco, that works with us. So he's just flown into Edinburgh from Rome. That is true. He's speaking very little English, and you know, this is the first time he's been abroad. So what is he going to do? Well, from our side, and again, shameless promotion, he's going to download the QikServe application, and he's going to be able to see all the restaurants within Edinburgh where that application is offered, and he can then pick and choose where he wants to go. He's flustered, he's booked a show, he wants to get through that meal as quickly as possible. I am one of those, well, talked about millennials. Ooh. I do struggle to wait for things. It really irritates me, especially if I know that I have something in my pocket that can make this all better from my personal experience. So here's Francesco. He's trying to flag down a waiter. He's getting a little bit irritated. There's a 5-minute wait time. Now, I know this particular bar rather well. It's never 5 minutes. But it's a lunchtime rush. He wants to get through, and he wants to, you know, basically consume the information his own way. Now, he's looking at the menu. He's reading it in his native language. He isn't looking at haggis, Cullen, skink, all the sort of stuff that would be like, if you think about it, like, what the hell is that? Like, and it's a legitimate question. He gets pop-ups on his application to prompt to order more. So for example, would you like a glass of wine with that? Would you like fries? All of this is in his pocket. Like, it's available today, and this is easy. You just have to take the time to think, but I appreciate how difficult time is. He's struggling. This is one of the biggest challenges and the biggest things that we speak about with our customer base right now, is struggling and waiting to flag down somebody to pay. Now, I don't know anyone in this room that has Amex. I don't know anyone in this room that accepts Amex because it's really expensive. But that's a good example of a card that operators don't want to use, but people do want to use when they're abroad. So he's going to basically check in to this micro-location. He's going to pick up his tab. He's going to pay with his own account in his own currency. And again, it's just going to keep the whole thing flowing really, really easily. He's going to tweet. So again, he's going to engage with your brands on that social media level. Now, again, I like a tweet. I really, really like to tweet when I'm annoyed about something, though, because I get a response, because it's so public, and I bet loads of people in this room either do that too, or you're tasked with responding to them, because, as I say, it's such a public forum. ScotRail, they get absolutely abused by me. Like, it's a bad relationship we have. They probably wince when they see me, but, you know, hey, just turn the heating on in your train. That's all I'm asking. So It's good because you'll have that local level. You will be able to engage with that particular customer. If they've had a good experience, capitalize on it. If they've had a bad experience, you can deal with it. So that you're not going to impact their overall kind of view of their experience. I think one of the things, again, putting myself in your shoes, a lot of you are obviously operators and are running tourist attractions. What's the benefit to you of having a system like this? Well, money, yippee! We all want to make more money, and mobile is proven for driving up average transaction value. So again, I'm a total sucker for it. I'm ordering a steak, would I like a glass of red wine with that? Probably I would, and I've ordered it, and that's an extra, more revenue that you might not have had. Reducing pressure on staff during busy times. We're all human. It's very easy to forget to ask those questions of, here's the special of the day. Would you like to do this? Would you like that? When you're busy, you want to get people out of the door. And again, you can maybe miss revenue that way. Footfall, this is cool. This is fun, innovative technology. People want to engage with it. Who here has a Starbucks application? Oh, very few. Yes. We didn't build it. But that sort of attitude of ordering ahead, picking up on the go, it's going to be completely normal. It's normal now. Sorry for those that don't have it. It's, that's day to day. So this is important. You can also digitize queues. So when you're walking past a Starbucks and you think, well, there's a massive queue, I can't be bothered, you've already placed your order. So they have two streams that way. But again, by communicating with people in their native language, it's just massively important. It makes them feel comfortable. It makes them engage. Upsell, cross-sell, and user insights. So we're going to talk a lot more. I know we have some other guests, speakers that are going to speak about data and guest insight. Smart marketing, again, I do not want free things necessarily as a loyalty platform. I want something that's interesting to me, that's based on my habits, that's based on what I actually do. So for example, in my past, I might have had an Opal Black card. Now, that's definitely the signs of a misspent youth. But if I thought that I could get a taxi earlier without having to stand on George Street freezing for 2 hours or whatever, I would absolutely use that loyalty card a lot more than I ever did. So it's understanding that's not necessarily free, that's convenience for me. It's making my life easier, and I'm all about that. We obviously want to keep our brands at the center of everything and genuinely talk about a multi-channel self-serve solution. We talk about it a lot. Actually, we're going to be releasing some information about multi-channel versus omni-channel, but it's here. Again, we can't avoid it. From the tourist point of view, from your guests, and even people that live in Edinburgh, I still want to enjoy the perks of this. You want to get greater convenience. You want to be able to do what you want to do. If you're visiting Edinburgh for a short period of time, you want to cram it in. So how can that be facilitated through technology? You want to go to the restaurant of choice, and again, we've talked about local SEO, etc. I want to know where's the best place for a gin and tonic in Edinburgh. And it doesn't have to be the most glamorous. It could be somewhere a bit dingy, but is it a good gin and tonic? Brilliant, let's go. You want to find and navigate your way around the city, so geolocation capabilities, what's close to me right now, and then order what you want and how you want it. We're doing a project in the US at the minute with a fast food burger chain, not McDonald's. And basically what we found out that they're making a lot of money because of extra cheese, and I can't deal with this. So basically people are ordering more and more extra cheese on their burgers, and their revenue is going through the roof because of extra cheese, and there's no judgment, so people keep adding it. It's very interesting. But again, it gives people the food that they want, how they want it. And what do we want? We want people to talk about Edinburgh. We want people to come. We want friends of friends to be here. You want to come and all, get everyone excited and get a buzz. So share it through social media. We have these amazing networks. We have all of this at our fingertips. And, I really encourage people to use it more. So that's obviously a really quick kind of snapshot of one user journey that we're working with our customer base on. But this is a global solution that we're offering, and we're working with global customers. But trust me, nothing would make myself and QikServe happier than to kill this in Edinburgh. I would love it if everyone had that experience and we can, look at working on this together. So that is all from me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me here today, and I'll be around for any questions later on.
Thanks, Gillian. Gillian's a millennial, doesn't like to wait, so it's just as well we started on time, isn't it? You know. Thank you very much. This whole idea of servicing and ordering and finding out what you want when you want it, it's a big trend at the minute. People don't want to wait. Although I do think there's a corresponding opportunity to create environments where people just wait, constantly wait. It's not for millennials. It's not for millennials. But also in the food experience, I'll tell you a little story of my first experience in Edinburgh of food. I arrived and I was staying in Leith, and obviously Leith. In my image I had Irving Welsh and Trainspotting, and I just ordered a cup of coffee in a cafe, and the guy said, "Do you want a tablet with that?" I did not know the tablet meant fudge or a sweet, and I'm thinking, hold on, I'm in Trainspotting. Crazy. So translation is a big thing.